Straight
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is the hidden taxes you pay. I think I came up with this subject right around tax time in 2024 when I came up with this subject, but I didn't record it at the exact moment I came up with the subject. It doesn't matter because the material that I put out here on this show is evergreen. It doesn't matter when it comes out or when I came up with it, but that's what I first thought of this. But before I even get into that, I want to remind you all of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation text messages guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your week or your day. All you got to do to get these messages is be part of my texting community. It is free to join. Just text me at the following number, 305-384-6894. Send a text to that number right now. And when we again begin to send those text messages out, you'll be getting those straight to your phone. And you'll even be able to choose how often you get the messages. And again, that number down below in the description. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That's the place where I do all my coaching. If you would like to have me as your direct coach, and I'm looking for high level performers, I'm looking for top 2% people who are either already in the top 2% or you are serious about joining it. I'm not looking for average level people. I'm not looking for people with poor or broke mindsets. I'm looking for people who are serious about playing at a high level and or you are already playing at a high level. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com and let's take your game where it needs to be. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link is down below in the description. With that out the way, let's get into this topic. I introduced this a little bit, just telling you that this show is about, or this episode rather, came from when I was just considering tax time. And I'm like, all right, so we all know about the taxes that we pay, right? In America, we have this federal tax system with taxes being paid on or around April 15th of every year. And every presidential candidate, whenever there's a presidential or people just talking about the president, they talk about taxes. Or when there's the person who's going to challenge the incumbent president or the person who is stepping in to be president and they want to run for president because maybe the current one is they did 2 terms or they're leaving or whatever the situation is. Every presidential candidate is always talking about what their policy or what they're going to do regarding taxes, right? No presidential candidates always talk about taxes, or they get asked questions about what they're going to do about raising or lowering taxes or taxing big companies or taxing rich people, whatever that means, and lowering taxes for everybody else and different things. People are always talking about it. It's always a big deal talking about taxes. Can we agree? Good. People are constantly talking about how much money big companies or notably wealthy people pay in taxes or don't pay. So today, I'm going to talk about none of that. I'm not going to talk about any of those things. What I am going to talk about are the taxes that you pay, whether you're rich or not, whether you are a corporation or not, whether you are running for public office or not. I want to talk about the taxes that you pay that you don't even know you pay. Again, that's why the title is called the hidden taxes. So this is not the taxes that you write a check and you pay a bill. Those are, at least you know about those taxes. I'm talking about the ones you don't even know that you're paying, and you're paying them every day. And these taxes are not based on financial numbers. And again, you don't write a check, you don't swipe a credit card to pay them, but they are being taxed on you and they are being taken from you, and you do pay them with certain actions or inactions. And today I'm going to explain to you exactly how, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what. Let's get to it. Point number 1. Today's topic, once again, is the hidden taxes you pay. Number 1, ineffectively used time is a tax. Anytime you use your time ineffectively, you are paying a tax. Let's be clear what ineffective means. Ineffective means it is not moving you towards your desired outcome. So that means one of 2 things. If you're doing things that are not moving you towards your outcome, i.e. wasting time, you're paying a tax of that time because that time you can never get back. Number 2 option here, if you don't know what effective is for you, in other words, you don't have clearly stated goals, then every minute you spend is a tax because you have no idea where you're going and your time is just wasting away. You're getting closer and closer to death minute by minute and don't even know where you're going. That is also a tax. Ineffectively used time is a tax. Time is your most valuable resource. So every time you use time ineffectively, you're wasting a little bit of your life. And I think we would all agree that using your life effectively is a big price to pay. Would you agree? Being that you only get one life. So if you're using it ineffectively, that's probably not good. And there are no do-overs of any time that is erroneously used No time, there's no do-overs of time that's used, even if you use it effectively. All right, once it's gone, it's gone. All right, time does not, you can't rewind time and do it over again. So if there's one resource that you should be vigilant about using effectively, it's your time. How many times have you heard me say this? If you're a regular listener to the show, you hear me talk about this all the time. No matter what the subject is, I always touch on this because it's so important. And your time, the effective use of your time is more important than an effective use of your money, and more important than the effective use of anything else you may value highly, because all of those other things can be replaced. If you're able to protect your use of any resource, focus on protecting your time, because it's the only one you can't replenish. You cannot buy it from somebody else, and it cannot be found in abundant amounts. Unlike every other resource, you can do all three. You can replenish it, you can buy it from somebody else, or you can find it in abundant amounts. You cannot do that with time. Everything else, you can do it. There is a limited supply of time for each individual, because you can't use it other people's. I mean, technically you can by hiring a person. Technically, you're buying their time, but I'm talking on an absolute level. Your time goes by every 365 days. Another year has gone by, no matter what you do with your time. All right, you are 1 year older and 1 year closer to death. All right, so there's a limited supply of time, which means its value has to be much higher simply because of the scarcity. All right, one of the first rules of economics, maybe the first law of economics, is supply and demand. All right, when something is in low supply, the demand is naturally higher. When something's in high demand, or when something's in low supply, the demand is naturally higher because of the scarcity concept. When something is scarce, it becomes more valuable simply because it's not so easy to get. And when something is plentiful, there's so much of it to go around, value goes down simply because it's so easy to get. And this is why time is more valuable than money, because money can be found plentifully, whereas time cannot, and time never will. Point number two. Today's topic, once again, are hidden taxes you pay. Number two, passed on opportunity. Passed on opportunity. So this is the opportunity that is in front of you, or at least it was in front of you. And for whatever reason, doesn't matter why, it doesn't really matter, you passed on it. How many times in life have you had an opportunity in front of you, but for whatever reason, you did not take advantage of it and you never got that opportunity again? Everybody listening to this should be raising your hand and nodding your head. How many times have you had an opportunity in front of you, you did not take advantage, and you never got that opportunity again? How many of you have had that happen? Of course, everybody has. Maybe it was a chance for you to speak up and or step up, and you just didn't take it. There's an opportunity there, you just didn't take it for whatever reason. Remember, I was in the local rec center where I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was probably 14 or 15 years of age, and we would always play basketball on the outdoor basketball court, because that's the place that everybody played pickup on, the outdoor court. But then every once in a while, we would go inside to the indoor gym right next to the outdoor courts, and there would be a men's basketball league playing in there. These are older men. These are men who are like my dad's age. So these guys are like 30 some years old, maybe in their 20s and early 30s. These are not like NBA players. These are guys who work regular 9-to-5 jobs, head of household kind of guys, but they would play basketball for fun. So one day, me and a friend of mine, we were about the same age, teenagers, we were just in there just watching the games. And there was a game about to start, and there was one team, they had maybe 5 or 6 players, and then another team, they only had 4 players. And I had just come from playing outside on a pickup course. So I had my basketball gear on. I'm 15, 16, so I had a little bit of size on me at this point, but I was clearly young. We're just watching them get ready for the game. And one of the older guys, he walked over to me, and they only had 4 people. So he walked over to me. He said, "Hey, you want to play?" He was going to have me play with them because they only had 4 players. And he surprised me with the question. I was shocked by the question. And I said, no, I turned down the opportunity. And then he just turned around and walked away. And I don't know what they did. I think they ended up finding somebody else to go play. And I remember my friend who was with me, he was like, "Dre, you should have played in the game. Like, you could have used that experience. You could have got better by playing with these older guys." I probably would have been overwhelmed in a moment playing with them. But he said you should have played, and I didn't play. And that is an example of a passed on opportunity. Now, I don't think that affected my life in any way. I don't think it would have affected my professional career as an athlete had I gone and played in that game in any way. But I remember it as I'm thinking about it right now while I'm talking about it. That was a pass on opportunity. I should have taken that opportunity and just did it. And there are plenty of those that happen in life where maybe it wouldn't have affected the long-term ramifications of your life had you done it and you didn't do it. But you still could have did it, and you at least would have had the experience of having done it. I still would have had the experience of having done that thing, even though I passed on doing it. Even though, again, I don't think it made any big difference in where I ended up as a basketball player. I still should have taken advantage of the opportunity. So many of you had those one-off things that, okay, maybe it didn't change your whole life. The fact you didn't do it, it wouldn't have changed your life had you done it, but still should have did it, because why not? You had the experience. But also, we have the even worse, the more pernicious pass-on opportunities, the ones that had we done them, it might have changed our entire lives. It might have changed a whole lot of things for us had we taken advantage. And to be honest, even the one-off things that we consider to be one-off, like the story I just told you, it was just a one-off thing. Had I played, would it have changed my life? Probably not. And I didn't play, did it change my life? Probably not. But who knows? I don't know because I didn't do it. Because sometimes you take advantage of something that seems like just a little one-off thing that doesn't really matter. But then if you were to take advantage of it, I mean, think about this in your life. Think about the times when you did take advantage of something that just seemed like a little small thing, but you did it. And then that small thing led to another thing, led to another thing, and it led to a big thing. You're like, damn, had I not taken advantage of that one little thing back then, all of this stuff would not have happened. Any of you ever had that happen? I've had plenty of those times. And I'm sure many of you have had plenty of those times. And if you're a person who works in sales like I do, and I don't only sell products and services, but also sell myself. I saw myself on opportunities. I saw myself on collaborations. I saw myself on strategic partnerships. There are many times when it was just a little thing that I did, a little thing like reaching out to this person, following up with this person. This person didn't respond to the email, we send a text. They didn't respond to the text, we call. And making sure that we get through and getting the conversation going that we wanted led to another thing, which led to another and another, and a big opportunity that otherwise would not have caught. All right, all of these things could happen. Again, sometimes you don't even know until you do it. And there are many small opportunities that we pass on that, again, we may write it off as saying, oh, it's just a little thing, who cares? But you'll never know. And that's the issue. That's the issue with pass on opportunity. It's a tax. It's not only the tangible tax, but it's also a mental and emotional tax because you never know what you missed out on. And you got to live the whole rest of your life not knowing. And guess what? There may have been a bigger opportunity in there, but it didn't go to you and went to somebody else who took advantage of it. So again, chance to speak up or step up that you passed on. Maybe it was someone you could have connected with and created an opportunity through, but you let it pass. Again, what seems like a little thing, maybe one of those guys knew somebody who might have got me a scholarship to play college basketball. Who knows? I don't know because I didn't take advantage of the opportunity. Okay, so maybe it was something that you thought about doing, and that one time that you could have did it was your only chance, and you didn't do it. All right, so you don't know what you missed out on. See, missed opportunity is a hefty tax to pay, folks, because you got to wonder for the rest of your life, what if, or you have the unknown in your mind of what could have happened that you don't even realize that you missed on because you didn't take advantage of the first one, so you missed the next one. And you never got to find out what could have happened because you didn't do anything. I always tell people, I even tell this to myself, you are better off making errors of commission, meaning doing something and being wrong, than an error of omission, which means doing nothing and being wrong. You're better off doing something and messing it up and saying, all right, I shouldn't have did that. Damn, I messed up. Okay, too bad that didn't go right. Rather than making an error of omission where you're sitting back like, damn, maybe what would that have turned into? What could that have been? What would have happened had I said something there? What would have happened had I made that phone call or stepped to that person and talked to them or taken advantage of that opportunity that was presented to me that I eventually passed on? You don't know. So remember that one of the 12 work on your game commandments, folks, is the commandment of the action bias. Action bias just says you're better off doing something than doing nothing. So make an error of commission rather than an error of omission. Even if the thing that you do, that you commit to, because commission means to commit. You committed to something and it ends up going terribly wrong. Let's say it completely sucks. You're better off having a story of something going wrong than having a story of what you could have did and you didn't do anything. Because who wants to hear a story of somebody that didn't do anything and they could have? Nobody wants to hear that. But people will listen to a story of something that you actually did that didn't go right, especially if you become successful, because people want to know what are the bumps and the challenges that you faced along the way. So you're better off doing something than doing nothing. So everybody listening to this right now, next time you have a chance to do something, do something. Even if you end up losing, do something. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, are the hidden taxes that we pay. The third hidden tax is the tax of missed opportunity. So the second tax was passed on opportunity. Passed on opportunity is one that you know about. It is right in front of you. It is presented to you, and you simply choose to do nothing. That's a passed on opportunity. You had it in front of you, and you said no. A missed opportunity is one that you didn't even know that you missed out on. That's a tax as well. This is the ignorance tax. It's a form of an ignorance tax. There's one type of ignorance tax where you just don't have information. Another form of ignorance tax is a tax that you're paying and you don't even know it's coming out of your account. You didn't even see the money leave. It's gone, but it's gone. You didn't see it leave, but it's gone. That's the missed opportunity. That's the one that you didn't know because you didn't walk around the corner taking the first opportunity, so you missed the next one. Or the one that you just missed because you didn't walk around the corner, period. All right, it might not even been an opportunity, at least in your eyes, but there was one there had you gone over there. Since you didn't go over there, you missed the opportunity. So you don't even know that you missed it. You follow what I'm saying here? So missed opportunity is different than passed on because the missed ones are the ones, again, you didn't see. You were unaware of. This is the opportunity that would have been behind the first one. So you didn't find out because you didn't open door number 1, you couldn't get to door number 2. This is the opportunity is right there under your nose, different form, right there under your nose. But since you were not aware and you were not looking and you were not paying attention, it passed without you even noticing that there was an opportunity there. See, this is one of the things that you have to do. See, one of the things that we do here at Work on Your Game Incorporated is we do a lot of collaboration. We reach out to people to collaborate with them, to do business with them. In other words, we look for other ways to, because when it comes to selling things online, you can run ads, of course. Everybody knows about ads, even if you don't run them, you know what they are. And you can create content to hopefully draw people's attention to your stuff. And another thing that you can do is you can collaborate. In other words, you can reach out to and connect with other people who are in business or other businesses, period, and see how you and them can work together. And then some of their audience can find out about you and some of your audience can find out about them. We do a lot of reaching out to people for collaborations, but understand 99% of the collaborations that we do, they are initiated by us. In other words, we reach out to other people and we say, hey, we're looking for a way to collaborate. Here's some ideas that we have. If you have any ideas, we're open to it. And that's how all of our collaborations happen. And I'm telling you that to tell you this. Had we not reached out and said, hey, we're looking for a way to collaborate, guess what? That collaboration would not have occurred. The collaborations that we do all occur because we reach out to them and say, here we are, here's what we're doing, here's what we have, here are our ideas. What do you think about this? Now, let's be clear. Sometimes we reach out to people, collaborate, and they say no. They say, we are not interested, or they just don't respond, or we're still in the process of following up. As you listen to this, we just haven't gotten a response from them yet. We haven't gotten a yes, we haven't gotten a no. So we're going to keep following up until they die or until we die, whichever one happens first. But the whole point is, had we not initiated the exchange and the conversation in the first place, then no collaboration could have occurred. And there are several collaborations we have going in business right now that are streams of income for us because we initiated the conversation. Everybody catching what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? The whole point being, had we not initiated the conversation to make the collaboration happen, then that would have been a missed opportunity simply because we didn't try. Everybody get it? Get where I'm going here? One thing that all of us in life, and this is the reason why I talk about action bias, one of the things that all of us don't want to have to deal with is the regret of what could have been. And again, usually the strongest regrets we have are things that we just didn't lift the finger, we didn't take the action, we didn't make the phone call, we didn't throw our hat in the ring when there was an opportunity to do so. See, I don't mind any regrets of things that I did that didn't work. I've done a whole bunch of things that did not work. Whole bunch of things, whole bunch of products, whole bunch of services, dealt with a whole bunch of people, done a whole bunch of business ideas, whole bunch of things I've committed to, and they ended up just not working. You can even call them failures, setbacks, whatever. I don't mind those because I did it. I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. I even maybe know what I did wrong, if anything, what the other person did wrong, if anything. But at least I did it. They don't really bother me. Those wouldn't keep me up at night. Now, what would keep me up at night are the ones that I could have did something and did nothing. Those are the ones that bother me because we don't even know. It will forever be a question mark. And I want you all to remember, folks, opportunity does not knock. Never heard that phrase, opportunity knocks? It's bullshit. Opportunity does not knock. Opportunity walks around waiting for someone to grab it. That's how opportunity works. It walks around waiting for someone to grab it. And if you don't grab it, it just gets taken by somebody else. That's what happens to opportunity. So do not think you're waiting on opportunities. No such thing as waiting on opportunity. That's an oxymoron. You take opportunity. So the opportunity that would have happened is the one that you could have did something, but you did nothing. Okay. So let me write this down because I just said something that was good. I'm writing that down. Sometimes I say something that I think is really good. I got to write it down before I forget it. Because by the time I get to the end of this episode, I'm gonna forget what I said because I might say something else good before it's over and it'll replace the other ones. All right, so I wrote that one down. So missed opportunity, folks, doesn't come with as much regret because again, you're completely ignorant to the fact that you missed the opportunity, unlike past opportunity, because you can't regret something that you don't know about. But this opportunity is still a tax. There's a psychic tax that you pay because this tax is the difference between where you are now and where you could be had you noticed the opportunity in the first place. Like, who would you be as a person had you taken advantage of every opportunity in front of you in life? Where would you be now in life as opposed to where you are? Would you be in a different place? Okay, I think we all can agree we would, all of us. Point number 4, today's topic, once again, the hidden taxes we pay. Number 4, inaccurate formulas. An inaccurate formula is a form of a hidden tax. This is the tax you pay when you think you are doing things in a way that will work, but you're actually doing them ineffectively and inefficiently. In other words, you think you got the right formula, but you don't. And you got to pay for that. All right, being wrong comes with a cost. So some of you may think, well, it's okay to be wrong as long as you do something. And in some ways that's true, but in many ways it's not. So even though I just told you about the action bias, you're better off doing something and failing than doing nothing and failing. At the same time, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. Okay, so there's a second level to action bias. First level of action bias is doing something versus doing nothing. Okay, always do something. The next level of action bias is if you're going to do something, do it right. Get the right information. Get an accurate formula. All right, so doing a whole bunch of some things and doing all of them wrong because of your own ignorance is not a good idea. It's not a good outcome. All right, that's not something to be proud of. It's better than doing nothing, but it still ain't ain't nothing to celebrate. We ain't throwing no party for you because you did a whole bunch of things and got them all wrong. All right, you ain't getting no party for that. You don't get no trophy for that. You don't get money for that. You still got to do it right at some point. Everybody catching where I'm at here? Okay. So this is the tax you pay when you're doing things that you think will work, but they actually don't because you don't know what you're doing. In other words, this is the ignorance tax that we all pay when we operate off of inaccurate information and or do not have an accurate process to follow for reaching our desired outcomes. The inaccurate formula is a tax that we pay now and will continue to pay until we fix our process. So in other words, if you don't know what you're doing and you keep not knowing what you're doing and you keep doing stuff based on your own ignorance, you keep paying that tax until you fix that problem. Which means either A, you keep going through trial and error until you figure it out, or B, you eventually stop doing trial and error and you just plug into something or someone that knows what you don't know. One or the other. But either way, you keep paying until you fix it. That's the way it works. It's kind of like you got a credit card and you keep paying the minimum payment every month. You never get your balance down to zero. Well, then interest just keeps adding up. No matter how many small payments you make the minimum payment every month, you keep paying. You're just going to keep paying. Interest is going to keep adding up. It'll take you forever to pay off the balance. All right, this is the same thing when it comes to your ignorance tax. That's the ignorance tax for you. It works the exact same way. So this means either gather and develop the information on your own. Again, it takes the most time, the most energy, or tap into something or someone that knows what you don't know, which is the faster way. Again, never spend time to make money. No, what did I say? No. Always spend money to buy time. Cancel what I said before. Always spend money to buy time. Use your money to buy time. So anything that can help you do something faster, use your money to get access to it. All right, and if you don't have the money, strategize for getting the money instead of saying, oh, I don't have the money, so I'm gonna just use my time to make the money. Don't do that. All right, because that's a failing formula. And if you keep doing that, eventually you're gonna run out of time. If you keep spending your time to make money, eventually you're gonna run out of time. But if you keep spending your money to make time, you will have more and more time on your hands. All right, they don't work, they are not equals. All right, so it's not I can do one or I can do the other. No, they are not equals. You could do one or the other, but they don't work out the exact same way. The math is not the same. So it's usually much faster, folks, to choose the second option, using your money to buy time, than it is to do everything on your own because two things. Number one, you don't have enough time to do everything on your own. Number two, you don't have enough intelligence to do everything on your own. All right, both of those are limitations you're going to run up against. Every human being runs into those limits, no matter how smart you are, no matter how hardworking you are, no matter how young you are. You will eventually run out of time if you keep using your time for everything. So this is simply a value judgment and a smart investment to tap into the knowledge of other people and try to gather all the knowledge, then try to gather all the knowledge by ourselves. We don't have enough time or capacity or, as I said, intelligence to do so. So let's recap today's class, which is the hidden taxes that you pay. So we all know about the taxes that you pay on April 15th, or those of you who are wage employees, the taxes that get taken out of your check every 2 weeks, and then they give you a little bit of it back, a small percentage of it back every year. But let's talk about the taxes that you don't know about, at least the checks that you don't write. Number one, ineffectively used time. Anytime you're using your time ineffectively, you're paying a tax called your life, and eventually you run out of life. And every minute that you spent doing something ineffectively, that is a cost. Number two, passed on opportunity. These are opportunities that get brought right in front of you, and you pass on it for whatever reason, whether you're afraid, you're nervous, you were caught off guard, or you just didn't have time to think about it, whatever the hell that means. When most of the time you don't need to think about anything. This thought is pretty instantaneous. These pass on opportunities will cost you in the long run just by the power of regret and the power of what could have been behind the next thing and the next thing and the next thing had you taken the first opportunity. Number three is missed opportunity. These are the ones that you don't even know about because you were completely unaware or because you didn't take advantage of the first opportunity in front of you. These have an emotional and a spiritual tax that you don't even know because you didn't even see the money leave your account, metaphorically speaking, because you didn't even know that you missed an opportunity. It was right there to your left, but you were looking over here, so you didn't even see it. Number four, inaccurate formulas. These are the times when you think you're doing something that is doing it the right way, but you're actually doing it the wrong way. While action bias is a good thing, you're better off doing something than doing nothing. Once you get to the level of doing something, now we got to figure out how to do that something right. You do a whole bunch of things wrong, you don't get a trophy or reward or money for that. So don't look at this as some type of virtue. Action bias is the first step. It is not the last step. All that said, folks, make sure you text me so you're in my community. Numbers down below in the description. Work on Your Game University. That's the place where I do all my coaching. You want to have me as a direct coach, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link down below in the description to this video. Work on your game. Dre, all